Hello students, today we are going to discuss the practical number 13 for the class 11 informatics practices subject. So I have already shown you the 13 practicals or uploaded the video for the practical up to practical number 12. So if you didn't watch that, I will recommend please go and watch those practicals. It will be helpful for you to understand this practical. So in this practical we need to discuss something about list, and then we need to find out the largest and the smallest number among the list. Like we have find out the maximum number among two numbers. I have already created the video to find out how to write the Python program to find out the maximum among the two numbers and maximum among the three numbers. So this program will help you to understand how to find the maximum number among the two or three numbers. Now we are concerned in this program especially for the list. There will be a list of elements and it will be integer, and you need to find out the smallest or largest number among those numbers. Okay, so as usual, what we are going to discuss today, we are going to discuss the problem first, and then we are going to discuss the steps to solve the problem, and then what we are supposed to do, we need to write the Python code, and then we need to run the code in Spider. Okay, run the code in Spider. If you are using any other editor, you may use that also and demonstrate it. In demonstration we will see how this program will run on the computer. Okay, so let's get started without any further delay. So here first we will discuss the problem statement. Given a list of numbers, you are supposed to find out the largest and smallest number in the list. So this is our problem actually. Okay, now what we need to do here you are, this term is new for you. What is list? So in Python, list is what? List is a data type, or it is a sequence of any data type. Okay, sequence of any data type in which we will have the elements like this. This is the symbol. If anywhere you see, that means the Python list is started. Now you need to write down the elements here, like 10, 20, 1, 60, 88, 64, 72, like this. These are the numbers. What is supposed from you is that you are supposed to find out the minimum. What is minimum here? Minimum is 10, 20, 1, 60, 88, 64. Minimum is what? 1. So output should be like this, 1. And what is the maximum element here? Maximum is 20, 10, 60, 88, 64, 70. What is maximum? 88. So you will be given a list of numbers. It may contain any number. Okay, and you are supposed to write a Python code that will display the minimum number among the list and maximum among the list. Okay, so this is the basically problem statement. You know what is list in Python? List is a sequence of any data type. It is a data type in the Python, and list can be created using this way. And if you want to create a list, empty list, you may use the list method. And list have certain operations, certain methods available also, like append method to add the new element in the list. Pop method is basically to delete the element. Push is basically insert the element at the end of the list. Pop is basically to drop the element from the bottom of the list, and append is basically used to insert the element at the bottom of the list. So this is how, and insert method is also there. So certain methods are available to perform certain operation. We will not discuss all those methods because this is not a theory class. Okay, So we are now concerned about, I have given you ample amount of information to about the list, what is list and how to create a list in Python. Now we are supposed to find the minimum and maximum among these list elements. So for that purpose I want to tell you the logic. For that I will explain the logic, then we will jump into the steps and then we will solve this problem. Okay, so let me start with the logic. So how you will write the logic actually to solve this problem? So how you are finding actually the minimum among the numbers? So let's suppose how human being do this thing. What we have done, we have started with 10. Let's suppose 10 is the minimum currently. Then what we are supposed, we will check whether any number that is next to this 10, let's suppose 20, whether it is minimum, whether it is less than the 10 or not. This is how we generally human beings mm, calculate what is the minimum. So let's suppose I have initially I have assumed that first element is the minimum, and then what I will do, I will check, I will compare this element with each element and check whether any element is less than this 10. If I found, then I will update my minimum with that particular value. Let's suppose 10 is the minimum currently, I am comparing with 20. So far 20 is greater than 10, that's why minimum is, let's suppose minimum is currently 10. I have compared it with the 20. So whether 10 is less than 20 or not, 10 is less than 20. So I will compare this element whether 20 is less than 10 or not. So 20 is less than 10, whether it is true or false, it is false. So I am sure that 10 is the minimum so far when I came to this point. Now I will come to this point and check whether 1 is less than 10. Yes, definitely 1 is less than 10. So this is true. So I will update this minimum with the new minimum. New minimum means 1. Only update the minimum value with the new value in case if you find the minimum value that is less than the current minimum. So previously minimum was 10, but I have found a number that is less than this minimum number, then I will update my minimum number with 1. Now I will compare next. 1 is less than 60. Oh sorry, 60 is less than 1, condition is false because 60 is not less than 1. Then we will compare 88. So in this case we will not update the minimum because our current minimum is 1. So 88 is less than 1, it is also false, so we will not update. Then 64 is less than 1, in that case also we will not update. 74 is less than 1, in that 72 is less than 1, in that case also it is false, so we are not updating the minimum. So at end of this list, if we come up to this point and list elements, all the elements we have checked, that means minimum value is what? It is 1. So it is 1. This is how we do actually comparison. Now let's suppose same thing for maximum. Let's suppose I am assuming that list first element is the maximum element, then I will compare this element with each element of the list, and if I found the value that is greater than this current maximum, that is 10, then I will update the value of the max. So let's suppose 20. So what I will do, 20 is greater than 10. That means what happened? 20 is greater than 10, it is true. That means we are going to update this maximum value with what? 20, because so far 20 is the maximum, because 10 is not the maximum now. Now we will compare this 1. 1 is greater than 10. No, it is false. So we will not update our maximum. Currently maximum is 20 only. Now we will compare it with 60. 60 is greater than 20. It is true. In that case 20 is not the maximum. Now 60 will become the maximum. So 60 will become the maximum. Next I will compare it with 88. 80 is greater than what? 60. Yes, true. That means my 60 is not my current maximum. Maximum will become 88, sorry. Then we will compare it with 64. Whether 64 is greater than 88? No, it is false. So my current maximum will be remains 88 only. Then I will compare it with 72. 72 is greater than 88. Again it is false. So this element is also not greater than 88. So my maximum will be 88 only. I have traversed up to the last element of the list. That means the list doesn't have any more element. So we can say that maximum element is the 88. So this is the basically task that we need to perform using programming, and what thing you can do to implement this. You solve the problem. Now you need to think about how can we solve it using Python program. So here you need the help of for loop. For loop basically used to iterate the list of items. So you should know what is for loop, otherwise it will be difficult to understand for you. So what is actually for loop? I am going to tell you here. So for loop is what? Let's suppose this is the list. Let's suppose this is the list in some variable lst, and if you want to print each element of the list, then you can use the for loop. For let's suppose item in lst, and what you will do here, you will print the item. Okay, so what it will happen, what it will do, it will list each element will come in this item variable and it will print it. So first time 10 will come, next time 20 will come, 20 will print, next time 1 will come, 1 will printed, 60 will come, 60 will be printed, 88 will come, 88 will be printed, 64 will come, 64 will be printed, 72 will come, 72 will be. So up to the last element, each element will come and print using this element. So this is the for loop to iterate the each item of the list. So this will help you to iterate the items, and another logic we will write to check whether the maximum or minimum. So this you can write, let me show you here. So here I am roughing these stuff. You got the idea how to find out the maximum. So what we will do here, we will do what, let me show you. So what we will do here, what we will do, we will assume that list first element is the maximum or minimum. I am assuming that my list first element is the minimum. So how to access the list first element, you know, you should know this. We will write the name of the variable, then we will write the index. So this is the 0 index will be the first element of the list. You know the indexing 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is how the indexing we do on the list. Negative indexing also you can use -1 -2 -3 -4 -5 -6 and -7. This is how this negative indexing can be done, and this is how the positive numbers indexing can be done. So how, let's suppose you want to print the first element, then you can write lst 0. If you want to print the second element, you can write lst 1. So this is how we access the list element. So here if I want to assume the minimum value of the list as a first element, currently I am assuming this minimum is the first element, then I will iterate through the loop each item, and then I will check whether the any other value that is less than this minimum, as I have shown you in the last few minutes ago. Same thing we will do through the for loop. So I am using the for loop to iterate this. So what I can do here, whether I can use the range function also. If any student know the range function, then he can also use this range function. He can pass the starting position and then the ending position, and then what you can do, you can pass the step argument here. Okay, this is how you can use the range function also. If you know it, I will show you both the ways. Let me discuss with this thing. Okay, first, so what I will do, I will iterate this loop for item in lst, and then each time starting from the first position, each element will come one by one in this item, and then I will check if any element is less than, if the item is less than minimum value that I have assumed, that is the first element, then I will update this minimum with the current item. Okay, so this is how our loop will continue till the last element, and if we found any value that is less than this particular minimum value, then we will continuously updating this minimum value. That's how that I have shown you in the last few minutes. Okay, so this loop will help you. So let me try to run this for you. Dry run. This will be, let's suppose this is the list 10 20 1 60 88 64 and 72. So first time we have assumed minimum as list 0 element. 0 element is what? This 10. So we have stored the 10 as the value here. Now what we will do, we will compare. First time 10 will come in this item, then we are comparing 10 is less than 10, condition false, so minimum will remains 10 only. Next time 20 will come in this item, 20 is less than 10, condition again false, we will not update the minimum. Again 1 will come this next time in the item, 1 is less than 10, condition true, that time we will update the minimum, so minimum will become the 1. Okay, next time 10 will come, again, oh sorry, 60 will come. 60 is less than, now we will compare this updated minimum. 60 is less than 1, in no, it is false, so we will continue. 88, 88 less than 1, no, continue. 64 is less than 1, no, continue. Then we will 72, 72 is less than 1, no, continue. So this is how all the elements has traversed. For loop will end and we can print the minimum element at the bottom. So this is how you can use this for loop to solve this problem very easily. Similar way you can also write the same condition below this to find the maximum element. Okay, how to find the maximum element, I have already told you how to find the maximum element. Okay, so let me show you here maximum element also. So let me rub some portion from here. So maximum logic, you know how to solve this same problem for maximum. What we will do, we are going to write after this if condition, I am going to write one more if condition that will check if item is greater than max. If the item that we are traversing is greater than max, then what we will do, update the max value with this particular item. Okay, same thing will happen for, let's suppose, what will happen, we need to assume the maximum value also as a list 10. So here you will write list 0 here, so that 10 element. So now maximum variable will be created and you will have the 10 at the initial. Again this will be compared, 10 is greater than 10, condition false, no maximum updation. 20 is greater than 10, yes, so my new maximum will be 20. Then 1 is greater than 20, condition false. Next time 80, 60 is greater than 20, condition true, so 60 will become the maximum. Next time 88 is greater than 60, it is yes, so 88 will come here. Next time 64 is greater than 88, no, remains 88 maximum. 72 is greater than 88, no, so 72 will remain the maximum. So this is how this loop will help you to solve this problem very easily. This condition you should be able to write, you need to write these two conditions to check whether the element, if any element we found maximum or minimum than that particular element that we have assumed, so in that case we will update the minimum, okay, or maximum. If you don't want to assume the list first element as the minimum element or maximum element, you can directly also write maximum equals to 0 or minimum equals to 0. Okay, this way you can also do. Okay, so you can write both way. So now let me rough this and try to show the steps. Okay, so I am deleting all those. Now I am going to show the steps. So step 1 will be what? You can take the list as input or assume, or take some elements in list. Let's suppose you might assume anything, then you will iterate this list. Before that, what you need to do, initialize max and minimum as list first element, so that, or you may assume 0 also, it doesn't matter. Iterate this list and update the minimum and maximum if we found any element in the list. So okay, I have already shown you. Let's suppose minimum you have assumed LST is variable 0, and same way maximum is also you are initializing, so you can write like this also. If you know the Python statement, you can write it easily. Now let's suppose what you will do, you will iterate the for loop for item in list this way, LST, and then you will check if item that you are iterating is greater than the maximum element, then you will update the current maximum item, and if the item is less than the minimum element that we have assumed, then what we will do, we will update the minimum value with this particular item. So this way you will iterate through this loop, and in the last step, third step, you will print the maximum and minimum. Print the maximum and minimum. So this way you can write it very easily. I already told you what is the logic. Now we will go and write the Python code. Okay. So let me write the Python code now. So here it is. I will write. So let me assume the list. Some list I am assuming. Let's suppose it is having 10, 20, 1, that was 60, 88 and 72, and then I am assuming the maximum and equals to minimum equals to list first element I am assuming, and then I will iterate it through for loop. So item in lst, and then you will, if you find item greater than your current maximum, then update this maximum equals to item, or if item is less than minimum, then you will do minimum equals to item. Okay, and then at the bottom what you will do, maximum is, that is maximum, and you will print the minimum. So it is very easy, you can very easily write this, so it is not at all difficult. Now we will try it into the Python editor and see how it is going to execute. Okay, so I am running my Python editor here. So you see, now we will first create the list variable. So list variable you can create like this: 10, 20, 1, 60, 88, 72, like this, and then you are assuming max equals to min equals to list first element you can assume, and then you will iterate the for loop. For loop you can very easily write lst, then if maximum is, item is greater than maximum, don't write the condition in reverse order, then it will be wrong. Okay, if you write it this condition in wrong reverse order, like maximum is greater than item, then this condition will never this program will not be correct. Okay, so keep this in mind, maximum equals to item, and if we find the item less than minimum, let's say, then you will update the minimum value with the item, and at the bottom we write the print statement maximum is, and then we will write the max, and then we will write the print minimum is, and then you will write the minimum. Okay, so this is very simple. Now let me try to run this. It should print the maximum as 88 and minimum as 1. So let's try this. Yep, it is working. Now let me try to change this list completely. Let me pass some different value. Let me pass 100 here, 50, 42, 5, 89, 188, 63, 700, let's suppose 42. Let's suppose this is the list. Now let me try to run this. It should print the maximum as 700 and minimum as 5. Let's try this. Maximum is 700 and minimum is 5. So this is how it is working. Very easy. You have got the idea how to solve this problem. If you have any doubt, please comment on the video. I will get back to you. It is very simple to understand. I have already explained how this logic will be working. And thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next class. Have a nice day.